Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Apologies, I was just running a little bit late, but I'm here.
Walaikum
Yeah, thank you, Azam, for the warm welcome. I have not much to say, but yeah, I'm glad to say I was able to sign up my first client, and I'm really looking forward to see how it actually goes from here. But what I can actually say to everyone here is that we're all, of course, we all believe, we're all Muslims, we all believe in the oneness of God and everything. One thing to actually note is, one thing we need to actually really internalize is that Allah is in control over everything. And that includes the way your business is going, the clients that you're going to get, and everything from here on out. Basically, everything has been written. Now, if you do believe that everything has been written, all you have to do is to actually believe, not all, of course, at its fundamental, you have to believe in Allah that He is going to be able to give you the rizq, He's the razak. Now, based on that, now this also reminds me of the Quran ayah where He says that the hungry birds in the morning they go out, and by the end of the day they all come back to their bellies full. So it is He who provides, and so this is basically what I believe in. Of course, this is what I try to internalize and know that whatever businesses that we are trying to run, it goes beyond that, right? And so, of course, that is number one: internalize and do as many good deeds, which is directly and indirectly going to help you in your business. I know this is kind of like, something, it seems like, wow, I'm not giving the mindset advice perhaps that maybe people were expecting, but I really do believe that it is Allah who has control over everything. And
Absolutely.
so that's number one. And secondly, everything that Arzam has been saying is what you need to follow right now as your mentor, as your experienced coach here. Because what I do realize is, of course, I've been taking things slow because I have a lot of things happening, a lot very busy and whatnot. But it is only when I fully committed to the teachings and the lessons in this course, I was able to, at least the KPIs that he keeps on mentioning, right, is where I was able to finally get to the first sign up, and that gives me, of course, the motivation to keep on following
100%.
that.
100%.
And that's all I have to say.
Amazing. No, that was very, very good. And I loved how you kind of related that back to, um, things like that Allah says, and you believing that, okay, all I can do is do the work, as in put in the effort.
Right.
But getting the results is all in the hands of Allah. But let's just quickly kind of recap. Okay, you mentioned, okay, you hit the KPIs and you got the results, which gave you the confidence to, inshallah, keep on doing that. Now, am I incorrect in saying you did your first 10 calls and you got your first client?
Yeah, actually, I got my first three bookings in my first 10 calls, and I already got my first client in the basically the first consult. That's
Amazing.
right.
Amazing. See, um, all I can say about that is let's not expect results like that. It can
Exactly.
happen. Um, but that's crazy. First 10 calls. What niche is it again?
It's real estate in Canada. It's just very crazy in Canada. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, no, amazing. Real estate does work very, very well. But anyways, guys, I just love for this to become this crazy flywheel every single week. People sharing their results, and then the feedback that I get on Friday check-ins, then I can make a presentation according to that. But let's not waste any
sorry, Arzam, I think you got cut off.
time. Jazakallah for that. Now, oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
yeah.
we
So I'm
missed
just
the
saying.
last 5 or 10 seconds, let's say.
All right, apologies for that. I'm not sure why that happened, but I was just saying Jazakallah for that, Nasif, and let's move straight on to the mindset presentation. So just a heads up, guys, that if you can please drop a one in the chat when I ask you to, just so I can gauge if everything is keeping up with me, and a two if you didn't understand a particular slide or a particular topic, and then I can kind of ask you to expand upon what exactly you didn't understand. But let's kind of dive straight on to what this presentation is about. So every single Saturday, I make these presentations with the intention that maybe, let's start off with the mindset, maybe I can give you a couple of key ideas, or maybe a successful student like Nasif can give you a couple of key ideas that really stick with you, which allows you to take action, which then leads you to actually getting the results that you want. Everyone here on this call is in phase two, attempting to get their first client. So it's pretty normal for you to be confused, uncertain. This is something completely new for you. So all you have to do is just take it one step at a time. But on this call, in the next 30 minutes, let's just focus on your mindset. The intentions of this program, what are my intentions? I'd love to just kind of repeat those every single week. So number one, I can keep myself accountable and also let you guys know why am I doing this. Number one is help and support 1 million orphans in third world countries. Number two is make this program the best place for a Muslim to start a halal business. Today's topic, and we always do two topics. So today's topic is being cynical is not a sign of intelligence. We're going to talk a bit about fear as well. And number two, why the catalyst cold calling system. Now, being cynical, let's kind of define what cynical means. And I'm not going to go into the true definition, but it basically just means truly distrustful people. The people that say things like, oh, if it was so easy, why wouldn't everyone do it? And like, oh, the market is too saturated, or it's too good to be true. Those people tend to be always right at the beginning, because generally the nature of success is that it has more no's than yes, difficulty before triumph, but that one yes makes up for it. So in Nasif's example, he did those calls, he got 7 no's, which is still like nothing, but he still got 7 no's, but that one yes made up for it. So that one yes is all that matters. So cynical people that think, oh, I'm so clever, I'm so intelligent, I'm doubtful of everything, you should be broke like me and be stuck in this. I'm not going to insult people that have jobs, but they truly hate their lives. I know actual people who hate their lives. They're so miserable. You can see that in their face, but they don't want to attempt to do anything else because they're so distrustful of everything else. I call those people cynical people, because they're right in the short term. They're like, see, I knew it. Nasib, you didn't get any calls booked in the first 7 calls, did you? But then they lose in the long term just because of their ego. Anyway, here's something cringy, but I really like this because it drives home the point. Now, what is fear? It stands for false evidences appearing real. I really liked it. It is cringy, but I really liked it because it really, really kind of shows you the concept that we've spoken about before, the RAS concept, the thing in your brain that is responsible for the confirmation bias. You know, that thing that you are interested in, like a car, watch, a handbag, or a shoe, whatever the case is, you start to see that everywhere. The way that happens, in the simplest way I can explain it, is when you attach an emotion to a particular thought. So fear, as in, I'm not good enough, I can't speak on a call, I'm not confident enough to get a close, whatever the case is, then you start to see evidences of that every single place in your physical world. As in, you're doing the call, first person says no, oh, I knew it, it doesn't work, I can't do it, I'm not confident enough, they're not taking me seriously. So one thing I wanted to kind of make it very, very clear, like there's no kind of living happily ever after in life. As in, like, once I get to 5K a month or 10K a month, the struggle, or it won't be hard, whatever the case is. Look, the job that you're doing right now is hard. Maintaining your health is hard. Maintaining your relationships is hard. You just have to adapt. You know, you'll adapt. You'll have the awareness and have that self-control by focusing on the facts and numbers. If ever you start to doubt this business, or if you doubt yourself, just ask yourself a simple fact: is this business model something of substance? Is it actually growing? And if you just do a simple Google search, you see it's a billion-dollar industry expecting to grow even more. Probably about, I don't know how much percentage-wise exactly, but a lot more in the next couple of years, at least 10 times more in the next 10 years. So there's facts behind it. Yes, this business does work. Are other people making it work? Obviously there are. You've seen so many examples week by week, and you know there's so many successful agency owners. So where does the question come to? What do I not know yet? Or what am I doing wrong? That is the question that you need to ask yourself. As in, what I'm just really trying to say over here is, whenever there is hardship with the calling or whatever systems that you're using, Don't go straight to, oh, can I do this? Is this working? Go to facts, like, what am I doing here? How many numbers have I done? Have I hit the KPIs? Like Nasif just mentioned, that it's about hitting the KPIs. This system works. If if this actually did not work, I would not be teaching this. I'm not a fraud. Like, you see this week by week, it definitely does work. The same systems that I've used myself, I teach to you guys. I want to tell you guys a quick story. So way before I did, this digital marketing stuff, or tried trading or drop shipping and all that stuff, I also tried door to door, because they sold me the dream of, hey, um, if you do this, build a team, you can open up your own office, and that's the way you can build your business in the direct response marketing. Not direct response, what do you call it? I can't remember the name. What do you call it? But anyway, you can open up a business in that way, as in building your own door-to-door team. So you know how people like you guys kind of struggle with the cold calling aspect, etc. I had to, and I'm not sure if anyone else has done door to door, but I'm sure you can imagine that it's very, very daunting, especially if you're a introvert, and I'm naturally very, very, I wouldn't say shy, but I don't like speaking too much. I know it's ironic because my business is based completely on speaking, but I don't like speaking that much. I do get very shy sometimes. I used to get shy sometimes while in big crowds. I don't really like, kind of meeting new people too much. It's not because I don't like people, it's mainly just it's not comfortable for me. And I especially hate loud places, loud noises, and where there's a lot of people gathered up in a small space. So what they made us do was practice our pitch in circles while everyone's close together, and they were playing loud music behind us. So basically making us in that weird position where there's so many distractions and you have to practice your pitch. And that made me, I remember this one day that made me so uncomfortable that I had to literally go to the toilet. I don't know if I was having a panic attack or whatever, but I was literally struggling to breathe. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is literally the worst thing possible. But I thought to myself, hey, these guys are doing it. It works. There are actual people who've opened up offices in this industry. So it definitely works. So I went out, I got out of my comfort zone, really, really got out of my comfort zone. There's so many different instances that I had to go through where you knock on someone's door and a lot of people are rude. Imagine the responses people are giving to you on the phone, but in person, people saying, "Hey, I'll let my dog off on you if you don't get out of my porch." So like things like that happened. But it was a really it hits your ego. But anyway, my point is that basically to get through this business and actually getting that momentum with anything, you have to go through that intense discomfort and anxiety. So what I call it is just brute force and getting over it. Sometimes we just need to just get it done. There's no secret mindset trick or, oh, in this moment, if you think like this, you'll be able to do it. You just get it done. Brute force through the anxiety. Just act despite of the anxiety. That's literally all you can do. And eventually, enough times, you just won't be anxious anymore. Side note, a couple of very, very good lessons that I learned from door to door that I wanted to share before I move forward was just that mentality of making it work. So to basically in door to door sign people up, we had these tablets. Now, these idiots, even though they make money with tablets, they didn't restock the tablets that were broken. So we literally had to sometimes share a tablet between two people. So imagine my partner that I'm on this territory with is using this tablet and they're signing someone up. And someone said, yes, they've opened their door, they listen to my pitch and they're ready to go, but I don't have a tablet because my partner is using it. So whenever we went up to the manager, whatever, just buy more tablets. I'm like, just make it work. And we always did. We somehow made it work. So while, I was like, hey, I need the tablet now. And then basically my partner would just engage them in some random conversation while I use a tablet. So it's basically asking yourself, how can I make it work? I know this isn't really working, but asking yourself the question, how can I make it work? Which also comes down to accountability. Here's another quick story. We were given territories, as in you have to go to this territory, knock doors, and try and sell whatever. And there was a rule that I had to follow. I can't sign up anyone that is under 30. So they gave me the territory once. That was literally just student accommodations. So all day, it was like an 8 or 9 hour day. I'm knocking on doors and it's just student accommodations. And I came back and I was like, what the hell? Like, why did you give me a territory that was just student accommodations that I can't sign up anyone, even if they wanted to? And they were like, just take accountability, bro. Like, you could have figured it out. Like, if you really wanted to do this, you'd figure a way out. And I thought to myself, what is wrong with you? Like, you gave me a territory where I can't sign up anyone, even if I wanted to. And the guy then later on explained what I mean by that is, bro, I've given you this territory. Just go beyond the territory. If you really want to make money that day, don't just come to me after complaining. Go ahead and go beyond the territory. Just don't be just so fixated. Oh, okay, this is what I've been told to do, and I can only do this, and I'm just kind of struggling in this weird circle. Sometimes you have to kind of ask yourself, how can I make it work? Take accountability. But now you're probably asking, hey, okay, cool, awesome. How do I actually get onto the outbounds? I'm nervous. I don't know whether I'll be able to pitch properly. The simple answer is you act despite of the fear being there. I'm still afraid. I'm still afraid of a lot of things, but you just kind of get used to it. I don't even notice it anymore. I notice that feeling, but I just keep doing it. It's not something, oh, I feel like I can't do this anymore. Again, you're saying it, I feel like I can't do this anymore. It's not a fact because you are doing it. So that just disproves what you're saying. I feel like I can't do this. Forget about the feeling. And I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but you just kind of have to wake yourself up with just, brute force. Just get it done. So instead of asking yourself, like, what if this happens and what am I going to do? What ifs? Just say, even if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And I know this sounds like a lot of that wishy-washy mindset stuff, but this is very practical. This is stuff that I've used. This is stuff that I've used to make all the money that I've made so far. And these businesses, the best things that you can do for your own character development. Some of you guys here are parents. Some of you guys, I don't know, they're not married or whatever the case is, just becoming the man, woman for your family, to actually show up as someone that's emotionally matured, mentally matured, and doesn't actually have to rely on someone else for their financial well-being. That's all I'm trying to teach you in this program. Before we get on to the second topic, I'd love to see ones or twos in the chat. One, if you understood everything I said. Two, if there was something that confused you, I can go through it once more. So please, if you can do that for me. Cool, I see ones. Just need to see a couple more. Okay, perfect. I see everyone's doing one-on-one at ones now. Okay, cool. So second topic is how to actually make calling easier. Right, so step one, stop thinking and just start. A lot of times when I'm going through my calls for the day, obviously there's a lot of weird thoughts that come because I'm human as well. I'm not sure if you guys knew. But all I do is just I've developed this thing within myself. When I notice myself, when I'm aware that there's a lot of unnecessary thoughts coming, I stop it there. I have that control to stop it there. So what tends to happen is this thought comes, oh, what if this happens? Then another thing comes. So it becomes this massive tree out of that one stupid thought that did not need to be there. So what I do is instead of just making kind of logical arguments against my thoughts, oh no, I can make this work, trust me, I can do this, forget about it. Treat it like a child. Just forget about it and get on to what you were doing. You don't need to entertain each thought. Like for the mothers over here, if your child was 5 years old and he's just constantly saying something, hey, I want to do this, you wouldn't take every single word he says seriously. You at some point just ignore him or whatever the case is. Just you're just a child and get on to what you were doing. That's exactly how you need to kind of treat your thoughts. Step number two is with the calling. I've noticed that a lot of people have trouble getting to the decision maker. So what you need to do is create your own pattern interrupt. Pattern interrupt is basically the pattern that they expect is on a cold call. They say, hey, my name is this, and I'm calling from this company. Are you interested? You don't do that because everyone else is doing that. You create your own pattern interrupt that makes them confused, or say some sort of open loop question, or use a tonality in a way where they're like, it makes them think, makes them give you more time than they would have if you just said what everyone else does. So, funny story, what I used to do with the door to door, and I'm going back to door again because that's just the stories that I'm telling you on this call. But anyway, what I used to do was, obviously the default for people is when they open the door and they see this guy saying, whatever, I'm here from this company, they just slam the door. So what I used to do was we were given this, like, what do you call it? Like it looks like a, you know, what you wear when you're cooking. I don't know what you call that, but basically it's just something that shows the company name. So it used to be purple. So what I used to say is, hey, hopefully you like my purple dress. Something like that just confuses them. It's like something funny. Like I literally said that because I just forgot all shame. I was like, I don't care. I'll just say anything to make them confused and just not slam the door on me, which then led me to actually get onto the point and create that pattern interrupt. So what I'm saying is basically the way you guys can use this is on the calls, you can say, hey, um, are you guys looking, are you able to handle 5 more clients? They're like, yeah, you can. And then basically you generate curiosity. So everything about business or kind of finding cold prospects, cold meaning they don't know about you yet, is basically generating that curiosity as quick as possible in whatever way you can. So at least they listen to you. So you could either do that, or I've had a couple of people saying, hey, um, for wedding photography niche, that hey, I'm looking for a few people that I can refer my wedding photography clients to because I'm basically booked up already. So things that will allow you to get in the door that you wouldn't have before. So all you need to do is just get to the decision maker so you can just tell them your I help statement. And your I help statement, I've crafted them myself, so I know they're good enough that if you say them enough times, you will book those calls because they will generate enough curiosity. So step number 1, stop overthinking, just start. Step number 2, do whatever it takes. You know your niche, make it kind of unique to you. Find your pattern interrupt that allows you to get in the door to the person that can hear the I help statement and then book in a call with you. Now, why do we use this cold calling system? Biggest example, guys, is for the 2 people that missed this, what Nasif said earlier. 10 calls and 3 booked consultations and 1 closed. That's how effective calling can be. So it's very, very fast and simple. It's predictable. People, I'm not sure if you guys know about Alex Hormozy, but he sold his company for 50 million and he literally ditched ads, not ditched exactly, 50% of his business came from ads, but 50% from basically outbound calling, because what it does is then it creates that incredibly predictable flow of consultations. Number 2 is not based off of a brand. Basically, when selling businesses, and I don't need to go too much in detail with this, but while selling businesses, you need to make a business that does not require a certain face to sell things. My business is not sellable at all because you guys bought this program because of me. So basically, what cold calling does is it builds this very, very predictable machine, because Nasif is from a different industry, or Shadia is from a different world. You guys have different sorts of experiences, but calling works for everyone. So it's the most predictable system. Third point is your system will never be exposed. So as in the cold calling scripts, your own unique, what do you call it, pattern interrupt will never be exposed to anyone. My ads, and there have been cases, people copy my ads because you can see my ads. So with the calling system, it's very predictable, scalable. No one will ever find out. You can build out calling teams. But anyway, the reason why we do it in this program, at least for phase 2, is getting that first couple of good cash collected up front, and then that allows us to put money into ads and then scale and then hire closers who will be on those calls and then close those deals. But that does come eventually after we get on. So we get on with this stage, which is just doing the basics, calling, get on with it, get your first couple of closes, and then inshallah automate everything. And by the way, I've added a few updates on phase 2. So now I was just thinking, every single week what I do with Samira is just ask, hey, what is working, what is not working? What is working, let's do more of that. What's not working, let's take it out. So what I did was just to simplify and streamline things even more on the phase two document, and I'll share the screen and show you what exactly I'm talking about. I've just put everyone's attention just onto one thing. All roads lead to 30 booked consultation. That is it. Because income is a byproduct of action, not time. Now it's been 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year. If you haven't done the action steps exactly as it is, do not expect results. So all roads lead to 30 book consultations. That's why we use the Catalyst calling system. That's why we use the IG funnel. That's why we use the Facebook funnel. All funnels lead to 30 booked consultations. So if you have other ways, coming back to that point of find a way out, make it work. If you have other ways that you can book quality 30 book consultations, do it. Let me share my screen and show you what I mean or what exact video I've added. So basically it starts off with putting your focus onto just the 30 book consultations. So just share my screen, let me know whenever you see it. So this is how I've started. The business model is very simple, doing one thing very well. That's what we're doing. One thing, simple scales, fancy fails. One thing, booking 15-minute consultations, 30 of them, right? Here's a tracker. If you're wondering, hey, how long till I make my 10K a month or whatever the case is? How long till you book 30 consultations in total? That is it. Hopefully, guys, this was a useful presentation. What I request from you guys is just a message on WhatsApp, just letting me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how useful was this presentation. It just allows me to get enough data every single week so I can make these presentations better and make it as useful as possible for you guys. 10 would be this was exactly what I needed, perfect, and 0 would be this was literally nothing. It did nothing for me. So I would really appreciate that if you can send that over on WhatsApp so I can have that as data for myself. But yeah, inshallah, we'll end this over here. Any questions, I'm always here on WhatsApp. And if you really, really need a one-on-one for phase two, Samira offers 10-minute consultations for you guys, but main one-on-ones really start with me in phase three whenever needed, of course. So inshallah, we'll end it over here. By the way, I'll ask, why not? Does anyone have questions on what I just spoke about? There usually never is. I'll wait 30 seconds. Okay, cool. I guess we'll end it over here. Inshallah, guys, I will see you next week. Inshallah, let's have someone else giving the advice next week about how they got their first client. Well, I'll see you guys soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.